Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Mm-hmm.
Today, today we're going to be tackling something.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, well, hopefully, it's
But
AI.
artificial intelligence. Yeah,
It's exciting and kind of scary all at the same time.
it really is. I mean,
Uh-huh.
depending on, who you listen to, some people think it's gonna, be the end of the world.
Right, or take over all of our jobs.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly one of the big concerns.
So to kind of get into all of this, we're actually going to be looking at a pretty interesting source today, a satirical video.
Oh, yeah, I saw this one.
Yeah, you know it from the Juice Media,
Mm-hmm.
called Honest Government Ad, AI.
They always have a funny way of
I know, right?
getting their point across.
Yeah, using that satire.
Yeah.
But it's funny, but it also makes you think.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this one is especially relevant because it really tackles that killer robot narrative head on.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the whole robots taking over the world thing.
Exactly, which, it's a popular trope in science fiction.
And it's like, is it really what we should be worrying about?
Well, that's what this video kind of makes you question.
Yeah, because they have this character called GovGPT,
Oh, yeah, GovGPT.
who is like this AI assistant created by
Close AI,
Closed AI.
which is obviously like a play on
Very clearly,
Open
a
AI.
little jab there.
Yeah.
But GovGPT is surprisingly self-aware and kind of spills the beans about how this whole killer robot scenario
The distraction.
is a total
They're
distraction.
the real issue.
Yeah, from the real stuff that's already happening.
Which is kind of unsettling when you think about it.
It is.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of those threats that GovGPT highlights, because I
Yeah.
think they're really important for everyone to kind of wrap their heads around.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the big ones that they talk about is economic exploitation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're already seeing AI being used to automate jobs in all sorts of industries.
I mean, think about self-checkout kiosks at the grocery store or those
Yeah.
customer service chatbots that you get stuff talking to online.
I know you can never get a real person.
Right. And it's only going to get more sophisticated from there. We're talking manufacturing logistics.
I mean, even
Like
like
all sorts
creative fields now, too.
It's true.
Like copywriting and even some like basic graphic design.
So what does that mean for, for people, for workers?
That's the big question, right?
Right.
I mean, the video argues that this automation, while it might, increase efficiency for businesses,
Sure.
it can also lead to job losses,
Mm-hmm.
wage stagnation, and even like increased surveillance of workers.
Because now you have AI tracking
Exactly.
every move you make.
It's not just about robots taking over.
Right.
It's about how AI is changing the whole nature of work
Exactly.
and what that means for our rights
Yeah.
and our livelihoods.
Yeah, it's a really fundamental shift.
It is. And I think we're so focused on, those like futuristic scenarios that we're kind of overlooking the very real impact it's having right now.
Absolutely. And it's not just about jobs either.
Right. But GovGPT also brings up this point about how AI can actually reinforce existing societal inequality.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
So how does that work?
Cool. The video explains that, AI systems are often trained on data
Right.
that reflects our existing biases.
Or human biases.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if the data itself is biased,
Then the AI is going to learn from that.
yeah, it's going to learn and then perpetuate those biases in various fields.
So give me an example of how that might play out.
Sure. Let's say you have an AI system being used for hiring,
Okay.
and it's trained on data that predominantly features male candidates in leadership positions.
Okay. I see where this is going.
So that system might inadvertently favor male applicants over equally qualified female applicants
Just because of the data that it was trained on.
because it's replicating those patterns
Oh, wow.
that it learned from the data.
So it's like we're baking our own societal biases into these systems.
Yeah, and then those systems are further perpetuating those biases.
And it doesn't stop at hiring, does it?
No, not at all. We're talking loan applications, criminal justice, risk assessments,
Healthcare algorithms.
even healthcare.
Like, the implications are pretty far reaching.
They're huge. I mean, it really makes you question who's controlling AI development.
Right. And how are these systems actually being designed and deployed? Because the video seems to suggest
Through GovGPT.
through GovGPT that powerful tech companies and governments might be using this whole killer robot narrative to distract us from all of this.
It's very convenient for them, isn't it?
It is. It's like, don't worry about how AI is being used in ways that could be harming people right now.
Right.
Just focus on this hypothetical threat of robots taking over the world.
Yeah, stay scared of the robots.
But why would they want to do that? What's their motivation?
Well, the video suggests a couple of possibilities.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, by hyping up that killer robot threat,
Hmm.
they can justify controlling AI research and development.
Like they're the only ones who can save us.
Exactly. They frame themselves as the responsible stewards of this powerful technology.
Oh, so it's like a power grab disguised as a safety measure.
Yeah, basically saying, trust us, we're the only ones who can handle this.
While simultaneously getting rid of anyone who might challenge them.
Exactly, shutting out any competition or alternative approaches.
That's kind of sneaky.
It is. And the second motivation, according to the video, is to distract us from the immediate harms that AI is already causing.
Right. So while we're all worried about the robots, they can just quietly keep doing what they're doing.
It's like a magician using misdirection.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
While we're fixated on the rabbit, they're picking our pockets with the other hand.
Okay, so this is all pretty alarming, but the video also uses climate change as a parallel issue.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Like, we know climate change is real,
It's an urgent threat.
but it often gets sidelined for less pressing concerns.
Just like this killer robot scenario is overshadowing the actual harms of AI.
And we've seen how those delay tactics can be really effective.
Oh, yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. So if this whole killer robot thing is a distraction,
Then what are the real solutions?
yeah, what does the video actually suggest we do to address the real threats of AI?
Well, they offer a few concrete steps we can take.
Okay, let's hear them.
And the first one is that we need to shift our focus away from AI's alignment and instead scrutinize the actors behind AI development.
So instead of asking, is AI aligned with human values?
Right.
We should be asking, are the people controlling AI aligned with human values?
That's the key question.
That's a really interesting point.
Because we need to understand the motivations and ideologies of those in control.
Right. Are they really looking out for humanity's best interests?
Exactly. And that's something we're going to delve into much deeper after a quick break.
Sounds good. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you for being curious and subscribing, following, liking, rating, and reviewing our podcast episodes. Your support really helps build a vibrant Heliox community. Back to Heliox, where evidence meets empathy.
All right, so we're back, and we were talking about this idea from the video that maybe we need to shift our focus a little bit.
Yeah, instead of getting so caught up in the technical details of AI alignment, maybe we need to take a step back and really scrutinize the people.
The people behind it all.
Yeah, the organizations that are developing AI.
Like who's actually in control here?
Exactly. And are their goals, are they aligned with what's best for humanity?
Yeah, it's almost like we need to slip the script a little bit. Instead of worrying about whether AI itself is good or bad,
Right.
maybe we need to look at the intentions of the people who are creating it.
Yeah, because ultimately they're the ones making the decisions.
It's like that saying, guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Oh.
But in this case, it's more like
AI doesn't exploit people.
AI doesn't exploit people. People exploit people using AI.
Right, exactly. And I think that really highlights the importance of understanding the context. The social, the economic, the political context that AI is being developed in.
Because it's not just about the technology itself.
No, it's about the values, the incentives, the power structures.
That whole messy human element.
Exactly, the messy human element that's driving it all.
So how do we even begin to unpack all of that?
Well, I think one of the first things we need to do is diversify our sources of information.
Okay, so not just relying on
Mainstream media or...
like tech industry press releases.
Yeah, exactly. We need to look beyond that.
So where should we be looking?
Well, academics, for one, they're doing a lot of research on the ethical and societal impacts of AI.
Okay, what about ethicists? They must have a lot to say about this.
Absolutely. They're grappling with these questions all the time.
Okay.
And journalists, too, they're the ones who are often digging into these stories, uncovering the potential harms.
Right, holding those in power accountable.
Exactly. And we can't forget about social scientists.
Oh, yeah. They can provide insights into how AI is affecting society as a whole.
Right. Think about the impact on communities, on families, on individuals.
That's a much bigger picture.
It is. And even artists.
Oh, wow, artists.
Yeah, they're often exploring the social and ethical implications of AI through their work.
Okay, so it's about getting a more well-rounded perspective.
Exactly. And that includes voices that might be critical of the dominant narratives around AI.
Right. Challenging our own assumptions.
Absolutely, because sometimes the most uncomfortable perspectives are the ones we need to hear the most.
I think that's such an important point because it's easy to just get caught up in all the hype.
Right.
And think, oh, technology is always good.
Progress.
Progress.
But we need to be more discerning.
We need to slow down and ask ourselves,
Progress for whom?
exactly, progress for whom and at what cost?
Because there are always trade-offs.
There are always trade-offs. And I think that leads us to another really crucial point that the video makes,
We should...
the importance of regulation.
Oh, yeah. If we want to make sure AI is actually beneficial for humanity,
Right, not harmful.
we need to have some rules in place.
We need ethical guidelines, regulatory frameworks.
But how do you even regulate something like AI?
It's tough.
It's such a rapidly evolving field.
How do you keep up with something that's constantly changing? Yeah, and pushing the boundaries of what's even possible.
That's a real challenge for policymakers.
But the video does suggest a few key principles that can guide us.
It does, and I think they're worth considering.
Okay, so what are they?
Well, the first principle is transparency and accountability.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
Well, it means that AI systems should be designed in a way that allows us to understand how they work.
Like lifting the hood.
Exactly, lifting the hood. What data are they using?
How are they making decisions?
Because that's essential for building trust.
Right, and making sure that AI is being used responsibly.
And that leads to the second principle, which is fairness and equity.
Okay, so we're talking about addressing that potential for bias.
Yeah, making sure that AI systems don't perpetuate or even make existing inequalities worse.
We were talking about that earlier.
Right, it all comes back to that.
It's about ensuring that AI is used to create a more just society.
Exactly. And the third principle is prioritizing human well-being and safety.
Okay, so that means
AI should be used to enhance our lives.
not to harm us,
Right, and that means putting safeguards in place against potential misuse.
like in surveillance, warfare,
Autonomous weapons systems.
things like that.
Exactly, because ultimately, we want AI to be a tool that serves humanity.
Not something that controls or threatens us.
Right, and I think that's really the core message of the video.
It's a call to action.
It's a call for all of us, individuals, policymakers, technologists, everyone, to engage with AI in a thoughtful way.
To be aware of the risks.
But also optimistic about the potential benefits.
Right, because it's not all doom and gloom.
No AI has the potential to solve some major problems.
Like climate change.
Healthcare.
New medical treatments.
Even creating a more sustainable and equitable world.
Exactly. So it's not about fearing AI.
It's about harnessing it for good.
It's about using it to create a better world for everyone.
And that brings us to the question of how do we actually do that? Right. How do we take those high-level principles and turn them into concrete actions?
Yeah, because that's the real challenge.
It is, but I think the video offers some clues.
Okay, I'm all ears.
One of the key things it emphasizes is that we need to be much more critical consumers of information about AI.
So not just accepting whatever we hear from the tech industry or the media.
Right. We need to dig deeper.
Do our own research.
Ask questions, demand transparency.
Hold those in power accountable.
Exactly. It's about being informed and engaged citizens.
Because we can't just sit back and let others decide the future of AI.
We have to actively participate in shaping it.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, it can start with something as simple as educating ourselves about AI.
Okay, learning the basics.
Yeah, and then having conversations with our friends and family.
Sharing what we've learned.
Right, because the more people who understand these issues,
The better.
the better. And we can also support organizations
That are fighting for ethical AI development.
Right, because they're doing important work on the ground.
And we can contact our elected officials.
Absolutely. Let them know that this is an issue we care about.
That we want them to take action.
And to prioritize policies that put human well-being first.
So it's not just about policymakers and tech experts.
Yeah, this is about all of us.
We all have a role to play.
The future of AI will be shaped by the choices we make.
As individuals, as consumers, as citizens.
It's a collective effort.
I love that message.
Because it's empowering.
It is. It reminds us that we're not just helpless bystanders.
We have agency.
We have the power to shape the future.
And we need to use it wisely.
Absolutely. And the more we engage with these issues,
the better prepared we'll be to navigate this complex world of AI.
It's a constantly evolving landscape.
It is, but we can navigate it together.
And that's what this deep dive's all about.
Right.
Encouraging people to think critically.
To have meaningful conversations.
To become informed and engaged participants in shaping the future.
And as we move forward, I think it's important to remember those words from GovGPT.
Which were?
Forget Skynet robots from the future. Stop the shitheads in the present.
It's a powerful message.
It is, because it reminds us that the power to shape the future of AI isn't in some distant hypothetical future.
It's right now.
It's in the choices we make today.
So let's choose wisely.
Let's make sure that AI becomes a force for good in the world.
A tool that empowers us to create a more just, equitable, and sustainable future for all.
Now that's a vision worth striving for.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
It's been a real journey exploring both the anxieties and the aspirations surrounding AI,
Hopefully you've learned something.
and feel a little bit more empowered
To engage with this technology in a way that shapes a better future.
for all of us.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep diving deep.